You wake up Monday morning, drag yourself out of bed, and drive to a job that pays you $30 an hour. Sounds decent, right? You should be making over $60,000 a year. But when you look at your bank account at the end of the month, it feels like you're barely scraping by. The rent is due, the car needs repairs, groceries cost more than ever, and somehow you're still living paycheck to paycheck. You work 40 hours a week, sometimes more. Yet that $30 an hour feels more like $4 by the time it actually reaches your pocket. Something doesn't add up, and you're starting to wonder if you're the only one feeling like the system is rigged against you. Here is the uncomfortable truth nobody talks about. The number on your job offer letter is a fantasy. It is not what you actually take home. And more importantly, it is not what you actually keep between taxes, commuting costs, work clothes, meals you buy because you're too exhausted to cook, the premium you pay for convenience because work steals your time, and the lifestyle inflation that comes with having a job. That $30 gets chipped away until you're left with a fraction of what you thought you were earning. I'm Henry, and I've spent years obsessing over why hardworking people stay broke while their paychecks look respectable on paper. I've analyzed hundreds of household budgets, tracked spending patterns, and discovered the hidden mechanisms that drain your income before you even realize it is happening. If you're tired of feeling like you're running on a hamster wheel going nowhere despite all your effort, you're going to want to stick around. I share practical strategies to help ordinary people break free from financial stress and build real wealth, not just the illusion of it. If this resonates with you, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Your support helps me reach more people who need to hear this message. Let me introduce you to a concept I call the real hourly wage. This isn't the number your boss tells you when you get hired. It is what you actually earn after accounting for all the hidden costs of having that job. Most people never calculate this number, and that is exactly why they stay trapped. The real hourly wage concept comes from understanding that your job doesn't just pay you money. It also costs you money and time that you wouldn't otherwise spend. When you factor in everything your job demands from you, that impressive hourly rate shrinks dramatically. Here is how it works. Let's say you make $30 an hour and work 8 hours a day. That is $240 gross. But first, taxes take about 25%, leaving you with $180. Then you commute 30 minutes each way, adding an hour to your workday. So you're actually giving 9 hours to your job. Not 8, your real hourly wage just dropped to $20. But wait, there's more. That is $10 daily. You grab a $12 lunch because you don't have time to pack one. You bought a $200 wardrobe for work last month, which breaks down to about $10 per workday. Your coffee on the way costs $4. Add it all up, and you're spending $36 per day just to go to work. Subtract that from your $180 take home, and you're left with $144. Divide that by 9 hours, and your real hourly wage is $16, not $30. But it gets worse, because you're exhausted after work. You order takeout 3 times a week instead of cooking. Adding another $60 weekly, you pay for a gym membership you barely use because you're too tired. That is another $40 monthly. You hire someone to mow your lawn because you don't have time on weekends. There is another $80 monthly when you factor in all the convenience costs that come from being time. Poor because of your job, that $16 per hour drops closer to $12 or $13. And we haven't even talked about the opportunity cost. The side business you could have built, the skills you could have learned, the investments you could have learned, let me give you a real example. Sarah works as a marketing manager making $75,000 a year. Sounds great, right? But she commutes 45 minutes each way in a city with expensive parking. Her parking alone costs $300 monthly. Her car payment, insurance, and gas for commuting add another $600 monthly. She needs professional clothes and gets her hair done regularly for client meetings. That is another $250 monthly. She is too exhausted to cook most nights, so food delivery apps are her best friend, costing her about $400 monthly. Her gym membership to deal with work stress is $60. Add it all up, and Sarah spends $22,000 per year just to maintain her job. After taxes, she takes home about $56,000. Subtract the $22,000 in job-related expenses, and she is really netting $34,000. She works about 2,300 hours per year, including her commute. Her real hourly wage is $14.78. Not the $36 her salary suggests. Compare that to Mike, who makes $45,000 a year but works from home. He pays no commuting costs, wears whatever he wants, cooks his meals because his kitchen is right there, and has time to exercise at home. After taxes, he takes home about $34,000. His job-related expenses are minimal, maybe $2,000 a year for his home office setup and internet upgrade. His real hourly wage after expenses is about $15.38 for 2,080 hours of work. Mike, making $30,000 less in salary, actually keeps more per hour than Sarah does. Here is another example that'll blow your mind. Jennifer got offered 2 jobs. Job A pays $80,000 but requires her to live in an expensive city where rent for a decent one bedroom is $2,400 monthly. Job B pays $60,000 in a smaller city where she can rent a nice place for $1,200 monthly. Most people would take Job A without thinking twice. But let's do the math. After taxes, Job A gives her about $60,000 take home. After paying $28,800 in annual rent, she has $31,200 left. Job B gives her about $45,000 take home. After paying $14,400 in rent, she has $30,600 left. The difference is only $600 per year, but in the expensive city, everything else costs more too. Groceries are 20% more expensive, eating out costs more, entertainment costs more. Within 6 months, Jennifer would actually be poorer taking the higher-paying job, but the $80,000 number looks so much better, so that is what most people choose, and then they wonder why they're broke. Now I know what you're thinking. This is depressing, Henry. Are you telling me I should quit my job and live in a van? Not at all. I'm telling you to open your eyes to what is really happening so you can make informed decisions. Once you calculate your real hourly wage, you gain power. You can make strategic changes that actually increase what you keep, not just what you earn. You might also be thinking, but I need my job to survive. I can't just walk away. You're absolutely right, and I'm not suggesting you do. What I'm suggesting is that you stop measuring your worth by your salary and start measuring it by what you actually keep and build. A lot of people chase raises and promotions without realizing they're climbing a ladder that is leaning against the wrong wall. Each raise comes with new expectations, longer hours, more stress, and often more expenses. You get promoted, so you buy a nicer car to match your new status. You move to a better neighborhood. You upgrade your wardrobe. Your real hourly wage barely budges, or sometimes it even goes down. Another objection I hear is that some job expenses are unavoidable. You have to eat lunch whether you work or not. True, but you wouldn't buy that $12 sandwich. If you were at home, you'd make something for $3. The difference, $9, is a job expense. You have to wear clothes whether you work or not. True, but you wouldn't need 3 business suits if you worked from home. The cost of maintaining a work wardrobe beyond basic clothing is a job expense. The key is to be honest about what you spend because of your job versus what you'd spend anyway. So, what do you do with this information? How do you actually improve your real hourly wage? Here are 5 concrete steps you can take starting today. First, calculate your actual real hourly wage right now. Get out a piece of paper or open a spreadsheet. Write down your take, home pay after taxes for a typical month. Then list every single expense you have because of your job. Commuting costs, including gas, parking, tolls, or public transportation. Car payments and insurance, if you need that car primarily for commuting. Work clothes and their cleaning, meals and coffee you buy at or near work. Convenience services you pay for because you lack time. Childcare costs that exist because you're at work. Everything. Add it all up for the month. Multiply by 12 to get your annual job expenses and subtract that from your annual take-home pay. Now divide by the actual hours you give to your job per year, including commute time. That number you get is your real hourly wage. It is probably shocking, but now you know the truth. Second, identify your 3 biggest job-related expenses and attack them. For most people, it is commuting, food, and convenience services. Can you negotiate remote work even 2 days a week? That immediately cuts your commuting costs by 40%. Can you batch? Cook meals on Sundays so you're not buying lunch every day? That $12 daily lunch is costing you over $3,000 a year. Can you say no to the lawn service and spend 1 hour on Saturday morning doing it yourself? That is an hour that effectively pays you $80 if that is what the service costs. When you frame it as your real hourly wage, suddenly mowing your own lawn pays better than your actual job. Third, before accepting any raise, promotion, or new job, calculate how it affects your real hourly wage, not just your nominal salary. If that promotion comes with an extra 10 hours of work per week and an expectation that you'll dress better and attend more networking dinners, it might actually decrease your real hourly wage even though your salary goes up. Run the numbers first. I've seen people turn down promotions after doing this math and feeling completely at peace with that decision because they realized they'd be working more to keep less. Fourth, start building income streams that have low time and expense overhead. This is where you break free from the trap. Your job has a built-in ceiling on your real hourly wage because it demands so much time and creates so many expenses. But what if you spent 5 hours a week building a small online business, a freelance skill, or an investment portfolio? Those 5 hours might generate only $50 a week at first. That is $10 an hour. But you're doing it from home in your pajamas with zero expenses. Your real hourly wage for that activity is actually $10, which might be close to or better than your day job after expenses. And unlike your job, this can scale. A year from now, those 5 hours might generate $200 a week. 2 years from now, $500. Your job will still pay the same $30 nominal, $12 real. This is how you escape. Fifth, ruthlessly eliminate lifestyle inflation. Every time you get a raise, your instinct is to upgrade your life. Bigger apartment, nicer car, fancier restaurants. This is the trap that keeps you stuck forever. Instead, when you get a raise, keep your lifestyle exactly the same and direct that extra money toward building assets. If you get a $3,000 annual raise, that is about $2,000 after taxes. Don't spend it. Invest it. Put it toward paying off debt. Build an emergency fund so you're not living on the edge. This is how you increase the gap between what you make and what you spend, which is the only number that actually matters for building wealth. Here is what I want you to understand. The system is designed to keep you focused on your salary because salary is impressive. Salary makes you feel successful. Salary is what you brag about at high school reunions. But salary is a lie if you're not keeping most of it. The person making $40,000 a year with low expenses and high savings is wealthier than the person making $100,000 a year who spends $95,000 maintaining the lifestyle their job demands. Real wealth isn't about how much you make. It is about how much you keep and how much you build. When you understand your real hourly wage, everything changes. You stop making decisions based on how things look and start making decisions based on how things actually are. You stop being impressed by big salaries and start being impressed by big savings rates. You stop chasing the next raise and start optimizing the money you already have. You stop feeling like a failure because you can't keep up with your coworkers' lifestyles and start feeling proud that you're building something real while they're building a house of cards. This isn't about being cheap or depriving yourself. It is about being honest. It is about seeing clearly so you can make choices that actually serve your goals instead of someone else's agenda. The corporate world wants you focused on salary because it keeps you hungry, striving, and dependent. They want you to need that next raise, that next promotion, because it keeps you showing up. But when you calculate your real hourly wage and realize you're on a hamster wheel, you can step off. You can make different choices. You can build a life that is actually rich. not just one that looks rich on paper. So here is my challenge to you. This week, sit down and calculate your real hourly wage. Be brutally honest about every expense your job creates. Look at that number and let it sink in. Then ask yourself, is this sustainable? Is this the path to the financial freedom I want? If the answer is you now have the clarity to make a change, maybe it is negotiating remote work. Maybe it is cutting job-related expenses. Maybe it is starting a side project that could eventually replace your job income. Maybe it is taking a lower-paying job that actually leaves you with more after expenses. Whatever it is, you can't fix what you can't see, and now you can see if this opened your eyes. Please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. Share this video with anyone you know who is working hard but still struggling financially. They need to hear this. The truth might be uncomfortable, but it is also liberating. Once you see the game for what it is, you can stop playing by their rules and start playing by yours. You deserve to keep what you earn. You deserve to build real wealth, and it starts with knowing your real hourly wage. Let's take control of our financial futures together. One honest calculation at a time.